Spoilers for the JJK manga. Can Nobara come back into the story of JJK? If you don't know, Nobara was quote-unquote killed in Shibuya, and a lot of people really did not like her conclusion. But that's for later in the video. But can Nobara come back into the story? I would like to say yes, I think she can come back into the story. If characters like Todo, Miguel can be reintroduced into the story, then Nobara can too. A lot of people, including me, thinks that she's gonna come back into the story because her death was really left ambiguous. I think her death was handled this way just because if the author wanted to bring her back, he could just point back and say, I never said she was dead, I just implied it, okay? But then if he doesn't want to bring Nobara back, he can just look back and say, I clearly implied that she was dead, you just had to put the clues together. So her character is in this kind of limbo state. It's never outright stated she's dead, just kind of implied. Like Todo, we never got an official status on him, so when he came back, it was a surprise. It could be the same with Nobara, but before we get ahead of ourselves talking about if Nobara can come back or not, let's talk about why her death was controversial and why a decent amount of people really did not like the conclusion to her character in the Shibuya incident arc. So in the Shibuya incident, Nobara was constantly getting disrespected. So it seemed like when she was about to fight Mahito's clone that this would be her moment to shine. But we all know where this leads up. Mahito's clone couldn't use his curse technique on Nobara because he was a clone. So the more they fought, the more Nobara got comfortable with not having to dodge his attacks because the clone couldn't use his curse technique on her. She was also said to be Mahito's natural enemy, and I think this just hyped her up even more. So when she started chasing Mahito's clone and ran into the original Mahito, she didn't have her guard up because she was fighting the clone who couldn't use his curse technique. But the original Mahito can use his curse technique. So when Mahito touched her face, she went boom, and half her face basically just was gone. She became like Two-Face, you know, from Batman? But to be serious, this death made a lot of people mad and sad with her character's direction and with the conclusion of her character. And after rereading this fight scene in the manga, I can completely understand why people feel this way. She really didn't have any moment to shine this whole arc, and when that moment presented itself, she was just killed, okay? She was gone. She was done for. She was also killed just to have Yuji have another mental breakdown so Todo could come and undo it a few moments later. The death would have been better if she wasn't taking constant L's this whole arc, but to only have one really good fight in the whole series, and that one fight being against Chozo's brothers, and then to die without anything else is just crazy. Like, she really doesn't have that many good moments in the series, especially when she's supposed to be a part of the main trio, the main three kids in this series. It makes it even worse that she was hyped up to be Mahito's natural enemy. We were kind of tricked into thinking that she would work with Yuji to defeat Mahito, and then she died. A lot of people just don't like her death at all. But to defend the death, not the execution of the death, but the concept of it, Nanami's death doesn't shake Yuji and break him, and it shouldn't, because it shows Yuji's growth from Junpei's death in the Mahito versus arc, and proves that he's a sorcerer like Nanami. So to have Nobara die, who is one of Yuji's friends, hits way closer to home compared to Nanami. Oh, I had a voice crack. Also, it's been stated in JJK that sorcerers have gruesome deaths and die with regrets, like Nobara. So it's not like this comes out of nowhere. I can understand her death. It's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the death. I understand it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. I agree with both sides and can understand them. Like, Nobara was just getting a promotion to grade 1, and to then have another grade 1 sorcerer be on a completely different level than her is kind of crazy when she was just about to get promoted to grade 1 and was like in the consideration. I understand him being stronger, but being on a completely another level is crazy. She was also able to defeat Chozo's brothers with Yuji, so it seemed like she was getting stronger, but then to have this kind of just regresses her character backwards. But it does feel like her character was thrown away for the sake of Mahito and Yuji's battle, and to give Yuji another death to cope with. Honestly, Yuji has had enough death in his life. We don't need another character dying just so he can be more sad. I think that's why her death is controversial. I don't really like it that much, but her quote-unquote death may not even be real, because she may be alive. A major reason people believe she's alive is because they're always saying she's probably dead, or there's not a 0% chance she'll survive. Just say is she dead or not. The story will just not say if she's dead or not, and they will not stick to the idea she's dead or not dead. And when Yuji asked Megami about Nobara, instead of giving an actual answer like a normal human being, Megami just looks down to the ground, and Yuji says, I understand. What do you understand, Yuji? Because we don't. Can the narrator fill us in? Oh, so this is the time the narrator doesn't want to talk. It's kind of like the story won't give us a solid answer because they don't want us to know if her character is dead or not. They just want to leave her in this limbo state of like, is she alive? If you leave one of your main characters in a limbo, it's probably to have them come back or have the opportunity for them to come back if you want to write them back into the story. I can understand this, but if we don't get a solid answer by the time the story ends, then I think this will genuinely be a big misstep in JJK. I don't really care if she's dead or not. Like, if she's dead, I'm fine with it, but I just want to know, I want an official answer if she's dead or not by the end of the series. Like, seeing a grave or something, or someone just saying, yeah, Nobara died in the Shibuya incident. Something like that by the end of the series, I think is completely necessary. So if Nobara does come back, what role would she play, like in the whole Sukuna getting jumped arc? First of all, she's gonna need some type of buff or power cliff. She's just way too weak to do anything productive in this fight. So if she does come back, she's gonna need like an awakening or something, or like she's gonna need someone to give her a power amp. But her curse technique is pretty cracked, and they've talked a lot about Megami Soul and Sukuna Soul, so maybe she will do something with that or something. I don't know. Her curse technique is very broken, so I could see a way of using it to help defeat Sukuna. Or they could just use the connection between Yuji and Sukuna to hurt Sukuna while he's in a domain battle with Yuta, Gojo, Gota, Yujo, whatever you want to call them. I'm just gonna say Yuta, okay? Current Yuta. But one major problem with Nobara coming back is how it will happen. Like, how will she come back? I believe she can come back and she can be useful in the fight with Sukuna, and that her state of being is ambiguous to make the audience think, is she gonna come back or not? It's just, how will she come back? Not if she can come back, not if she's gonna be useful. How can she come back? Is she gonna come back like Todo, where she's actually been alive and up and running, doing things behind the scenes for a month, and we just don't know what she's doing because Yuji doesn't know? Or instead of Nobara coming back during the 1 month time skip without Yuji's knowledge, maybe she comes back during the fight with Sukuna, which would be absolutely crazy. Like, she'd have to wake up during the fight, like get ready to go fight Sukuna, go to the battlefield and start fighting Sukuna, and she'd also have to get caught up to speed on everything that's happened like during the 2 months that she'd been unconscious or anything. I don't think she's going to be woken up mid-fight to go help. I think she's already going to be awake and Yuji just doesn't know of it, kind of like Todo. So overall, can Nobara come back? Yes, I believe she can come back. Nothing in JJK is impossible. I believe she can come back. How could she even come back? Honestly, I have no idea about this one. I don't know how she's gonna come back. She'd come back like anyway. There's an infinite amount of ways she could come back. Would she even be any help in the fight with Sukuna? And I 100% think that she will be, because her curse technique is kind of broken. Also, it's only been like 2 months in JJK since she's dead. It hasn't been that long. Like, for us, it's been like 3 years, but it's only been like 2 months in JJK. And her coming back and like hiding it from Yuji would be a parallel to Yuji's death in the beginning of the series, where he hid it from her and Megami. Todo also exited the story without a trace, only a few chapters after Nobara died, so they're pretty close in when they exited the series, and Todo came back, so Nobara coming back isn't useless, even though it's in the late stage of the series. I understand not really thinking Nobara's coming back. Like, why bring Nobara's character back this late in the series? But Nobara coming back and finishing her story is way better than her just, you know, dying in Shibuya to never see Yuji, Maki, Megami, or her country friends again. So I think she's gonna come back, but you know, who knows? Gege could just do whatever he wants. It really just depends if he wants to drag out the series longer, or if he just really wants to end it quickly. But who knows? I don't know. Comment down below if you think she'll come back or not. Like and subscribe, because like, I need air conditioning. I need to be able to afford air conditioning, because I'm burning up right now. So like and subscribe, and I guess like Toji, I'm gonna disappear.